Iraq is a key ally of yours. They obviously have a waiver on gas and on power. When does that waiver expire, first of all?
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry I don't have the exact numbers. The waivers were issued relatively recently, and I don't want to misstate. The point about the waiver, though, I think it's important to recognize the conditionality for which it was given. Iraq, in order to receive the waiver, Iraq must meaningfully demonstrate that they are developing their own indigenous resource and that they are working all the time striving to curtail the import.
Have they met those criteria?
They wouldn't have been issued the waiver if they hadn't been.
Is the waiver ongoing on a rollover basis?
We're constantly under review all the time.
How important is it? You talk about sanctions on Iran. I've had various people from the administration talk about maximum pressure. What else is left to sanction?
Well, I would say that first, I think it's important to recognize the level of achievement that we've made. We've been able to take over 2 million barrels of oil and condensate from Iran off global markets. This was something that, appropriately, people were a bit suspicious that whether that could be achieved and whether it could be achieved without creating market instability. We've done it.
But what is there left to sanction?
We're constantly looking for areas of opportunity.
Is it
the
finance?
Maximum pressure continue. There's individuals. We have a rolling review of opportunities, and we're moving into that enforcement mechanism. The important point here is to recognize that the target of our maximum pressure campaign in this regard, when it comes to the energy component, is the energy that generates revenue, which is then used to fund proxy wars and terrorism and instability in the region and around the world. That's the target. So we're identifying and ensuring that we get the maximum return on every action we take.
What kind of reception is the Aramco IPO having in America?
I think by and large, what I hear from the private sector is their considerable enthusiasm. The opportunity to review Saudi Aramco's capabilities and what they have, I think is being welcomed. I haven't read their, I don't know, was it several hundred-page prospectus?
I didn't read the 650 pages either.
Yeah.
Do you think that the IPO, we know that you've got a close strategic relationship,
Indeed.
The U.S. and Saudi Arabia. The recent attacks have brought you closer together, some would say. Does the IPO bring you even closer together and even more vested interest to protect? It's called dollars on an exchange.
Well, I can't speak to, they haven't done it yet. I don't know the extent to which U.S. And who's from the U.S. are investing. But the point on the attacks on the kingdom, I think, is an important point. And what it did is really underscored the extent to which the Iranian regime will go. And it was an attack, of course, on the kingdom, but it was really an attack on all of us as energy consumers.
Can I just
I have to note, commend Saudi Aramco for their response.
Do you have new proof now that it was the Iran
I have no news to break for you
attacked?
right now, but refer you to other statements the Secretary has made.